What up, everybody? This is the Draft Dudes podcast. Welcome to our first episode. We ready to get started. I'm ready to get started. I know the guys ready to get started. So, without further ado, let's go ahead.
Hey, let's get our introductions going. Just say your name and just say like what you do within the website. My name is Jackson Bergen. I run the scouting. I do like the deep dives and the initial looks to kind of get us a good general basis of what the players are looking like, what their strengths and weaknesses are, and then I give like a projection of their talent. So.
Yeah, my name is Coleman Jamari. I'm responsible for managing the website, building it, making sure everything's looking good on there. And then I'm also going to be handling more like the statistical and analytics side of the player. So trying to match statistical profiles to one that show to be successful in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm Bryce. I handle the media and the marketing for the Draft Dudes podcast. Even our pages, so make sure you follow us on Instagram, Draft Dudes Sports, Twitter, Draft Dudes Sports, and follow our Twitch here on YouTube at Draft Dudes Sports. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it.
All right. I think the first thing we got to start with the news. So Bryce, you got any news for us?
I do have news. So headlines for today, people. Major storylines is one thing I see is the Sorsby issue.
Ooh. Okay, Kalina, go ahead and just provide some background and all that stuff real quick.
So, if you've been following football at all, you heard about Brandon Sorsby and like the gambling addiction he's been dealing with. Obviously, we don't want to make it like any light of that. That's very serious. But yesterday, the NFL announced that they will not hold the supplemental draft, which means that Brandon Sorsby won't be playing football at all this year.
Yeah. And honestly, it's a very big issue that the NFL is trying to really crack down on, and so is other leagues. They're also trying to crack down on this because it is a serious issue and it can cause for just a negative image, so to speak. So the fact that the NFL is taking this very seriously is something that we commend, and I think everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has lapses in judgment, and hopefully he can learn from his mistakes and just come out of this on top and just focus on having a good career in the NFL for his family and for the sake of himself as well.
Yeah, I mean, once again, you guys said it's not a situation to make light of, but this is a serious issue that I think is, in my personal opinion, is more common than we think in sports. So hopefully he gets better with his situation going on and realizes that some things are just bigger than him. And I'm pretty sure he'll get to that place, but only here can take you there. So yeah, another headline for the day, guys. College Football 27 has ranked the toughest places and top 10 teams for this year.
Okay. All right, Kalina, I'll let you talk about. You can talk about the toughest place to play, and then just give your insight on that, and then I'll look at the list for top 10 overall teams.
So I feel like the top 10 on the toughest places to play is pretty standard. You have LSU at 1, Ohio State, Penn State, Stanford Stadium, that's Georgia, then Alabama, Oregon, Florida, Tennessee, Clemson, and Texas A&M. I would say the one that really stands out to me is Indiana at 17. Obviously, as Indiana students, we've all been to Memorial Stadium, and that's the one that kind of surprised me. But considering they just won the national championship, I'm not surprised they put it there. But
yeah,
I just noticed something.
Honestly,
something. Clemson Stadium is Memorial Stadium as well.
Yeah, there's a bunch of. There's
I know
that. Nebraska Stadium is also Memorial Stadium.
Oh, I knew that.
I'm surprised they're not on here.
Who? Nebraska.
Yeah, because one thing about the top 10 like almost like all of them, their fans are dedicated. Like winning or losing, they're gonna show up and show out and make noise and help their team in any kind of way that they can. So it's like the top 10 kind of makes sense because you see a bunch of devoted fans all the time, like with these teams. One surprise to me is that the Big House is not in the top 10. I mean, I get it. They didn't have the momentum last year, but I still think like just for the sake, like they have like one of the largest stadiums in college football.
They have
And
the largest stadium.
yeah, the largest. It's called the Big House, and so like there's, that stadium gets loud. And you can actually feel vibrations when you go there, and it's just like I feel like they could have been in the top 10 spot, and I don't think anybody would have batted an eye.
Allegedly, the reason most people say that the Big House isn't the loudest is because like the way that it's built, like it doesn't necessarily keep the sound in till it goes onto the field.
Yeah.
But I've been to a game in the Big House, and I've been to obviously tons of games at Indiana.
Yeah.
And it's just a difference. Like just off the pure size alone, like I remember walking in there and just kind of being like taken aback, but like I could actually like feel the atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think Michigan should be a little higher, and I think Nebraska is should definitely be in the top 25.
I mean, 12 is not bad for Michigan. Nebraska, that is surprising. In my opinion, I also think Notre Dame being 20 is a little too low, just because like that stadium gets so loud. Like I've been there. They get. I was there last year. They get loud. The fans are just very animated and very just like just over the top at times. So it's like really cool to see. But I think they should be higher than 20 in my opinion. But that's just off of like what I saw from my own experiences.
Yeah.
Bryce, you got any reaction to the stadiums or?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Indiana number 17. I think that's a pretty good thing. Looking at it, we got what else do we got? We got LSU at 1, Ohio State at 2. Penn State what do you guys think is like the most like notoriously known as like everybody knows, not even off the rankings, everybody knows like playing here is really tough. LSU, that's like one of those known.
Yeah, I would say it's either LSU or Penn State because the whiteout. I feel like the whiteout is like the most iconic theme game.
Uh-huh.
And you've seen so many times when a team is playing Penn State and the crowd is live, the quarterback can't hear the play. He can't hear the play, and it's like the team ends up having to spend a timeout just trying to be able to get the play in. So
yeah,
I feel like that, no matter what, is always going to be just a staple.
Exactly.
Cool. So,
but yeah,
let's go to the top 10 overall teams in this list. All right. Everybody, give your reaction. Just say agree or disagree.
I like that.
Calling to be unbiased here. Just everybody get your reactions. Agree or disagree. Number one overall at a 91 is Oregon.
Agree. I honestly,
I'm gonna say agree. But just because they made some good additions in the transfer portal, they made some good additions in recruiting. Their team is almost all back. I think they lost like a couple players. Their defense is staying solid. So I think there's a lot of upside for this team. So I think they have a great team with them. So I think they deserve a 91 overall and the best overall team. Okay. Remember when I said I'm biased here, Kalina. Number 2. Okay, tied for 2 at 90 overall is Ohio State and Indiana.
Okay.
Okay, wait, no, give your rating for both. If you agree on one, just say I agree on this, and then
Okay.
Okay.
I kind of slightly disagree. I don't necessarily disagree with the rating, like them being a 90 overall. Well, I'm gonna say agree. I'm gonna say agree, and then I'm gonna disagree later on. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I agree with that. They
With
should be,
both?
like top on both. Yeah, I feel like they're. I don't think they're where they should be, but it's not because I don't think they're overrated. I think there's another team on here that's underrated. But
Okay.
yeah.
Which one? Wait. So which one are you like slightly?
I think. Well, I think they're. I think I'm kind of spoiling it, but I think Notre Dame should be above both of them.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, but other,
Right.
other than that, that's just my personal opinion. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say agree on Indiana, and I'm gonna absolutely agree on Ohio State.
you didn't have to do all that.
Nah, I was just making sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna absolutely agree on Ohio State. I think they're a really good team. Yeah, I actually like Jeremiah Smith. I think he's a really good player. I like his energy he brings to the field, and yeah, and Indiana's good. I like Indiana. Indiana's gonna be. I want to see. When I think of Indiana, I just want to see how Cignetti like genuinely does every year, because every year is going to change for Indiana, in my opinion. So I just want to see how he really handles that, especially this year. Because think about it, he won a national championship with a team he knows, and most of the players are. Am I wrong? But are most of the players new?
Most of the starters are people that were backups last year, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the starters weren't in that starting role.
Got it.
Yeah. And he did bring in a good amount of transfers again, but
Yeah, lots
Which
of
team isn't?
good transfers. Lots of good transfers.
Yeah. So I mean, I just want to see how Cignetti does it. But Ohio State, 100%. Yeah.
Cignetti can really attack a transfer portal, can he? I'm gonna say I agree with both. Also agree with what Kalena said. I think Notre Dame should be higher than them. Unbiased. I think they should be higher just because their roster is well put together. It's so well put together. They have a lot of people that can be first round talents in their respective draft classes. So I think just having that depth and having those pieces should, it kind of puts them, I think, above Ohio State and above Indiana. But moving on, number 4 is Notre Dame at 89. They are tied with number 5 or with Texas for 89 overall. I agree with Texas. I disagree with Notre Dame, like I said earlier. So go ahead.
yeah, I would say the same thing. Like, obviously, I said earlier that I think Notre Dame should be second. And then I would say I would agree with Texas at fifth. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say agree with Notre Dame, and I'm gonna agree with Texas. But I'm really excited to see Arch Manning this year. Pretty cool.
I feel like
him.
he's the biggest. I feel like he's the biggest. He's the biggest X factor. Not just because he's the quarterback, but because of like how he plays. I think he's the biggest X factor. If he can put all those pieces together, they can make a really deep run in the playoffs, in my opinion.
I just don't know how both teams play separately. Like, when I think of like tied, I think if they were go together, it would be a close game. I just don't know how that would work out. You know what I'm saying? So I just really, I'm gonna have to say agree. I think they're both good teams though.
Okay. Next, number 6, the runners up for the national championship, Miami. They are also tied. They're tied with 2 other teams for 88 overall, with LSU and Ole Miss. So, personally, I disagree. I disagree with the rating because they upgraded in the positions they needed to upgrade. They upgraded in quarterback. Their defensive line, they had people behind
Miami.
Yeah, for Miami. The defensive line is in my opinion, I think it got dangerous in terms of on the interior. The edge could be a question mark. But as far as the interior goes, I think they have 2 first-round caliber defensive linemen. I think they could make a strong case for being an 89 with Texas. I think if they were able to redo the top 10, I think Texas and Miami should be tied at 89. Notre Dame should at least be tied with Ohio State and Indiana at 90. And as far as LSU and Ole Miss goes, I have to agree. I have to agree with LSU because it's their like LSU's roster is nasty. Like Lane Kiffin attacked the transfer portal well. He recruited well. He got people to come from Ole Miss, and they already know his system. So he got the right guy. Ole Miss though, that one surprised me. That one did surprise me. I didn't think they were college football was going to rate them that high. I think they're that good. I think Trinidad is a great player because he came back. I think he's a great player. I think Kewan Lace is a great player. The question is, can their receivers? I think they lost 2 in the draft. Can their receivers step up? Can their receivers make some plays? Their defense is good. Still under Golding, right? Golding. Yeah. Golding, Pete Golding, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a head coach now, but I bet.
Yeah. They're still under him. So they know his system well, and I feel like that's what it really comes down to in terms of these teams. Can they keep the same coordinators for a long time so the team can gel together? Can they work together, and then can they make those plays on the field? And I think Ole Miss will really be able to make some plays on the field. So I agree with that. What do you guys think?
For me personally, I would agree with Miami. I think they upgraded at quarterback. I think they're going to bring back 2 of their top skill players, and I think they're 2 top skill players with
Malachi Tony
and Malachi Tony. Yeah, I trust that they'll have a good offensive line. The defensive line may take a little step back, but it's just hard to have that level of defensive line talent every year.
Yeah. So, honestly, I think they really just lost that effectiveness on the edges. Like interior D line, they're great still.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. For Ole Miss, that's the one I disagree with the most. I think they did lose a lot with between I know they kept Pete Golding, but Lane took their offensive coordinator. They have a new offensive coordinator and everything. I do think Trinidad is the best QB in college football right now, so that's always a plus. But I think they lost a good chunk of their defense too. And I know they're bringing back Pete Golding, but he's the head coach now, so he's not going to be 100% focused on the defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do expect Ole Miss to take a little bit of a step back.
Okay.
And then for LSU, I'm a little wary with transfer portal heavy teams. They're very boom or bust. And it really depends on what your opinion of the coaches. And in my opinion, I think it will be a couple seasons before Lane really gets going at LSU. So I would start LSU. I would expect LSU to be a contender more so next year rather than this year.
Okay. Bryce?
Ole Miss, Miami, LSU's overall. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like they're rated how they should be. You guys brought up good points. You guys brought up good points about every time you listen to a team, you stated how each team had something new going on, and each team had made a change this year. So with that being said, I feel like they're rated as think of it like a starter rate. Let's see how you do, but this is what I'm going to give you because you're not as bad as you were before, but you're not as good as you're going to be yet. So I feel like this is a good starter rate for them.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Then rounding out the top 10, tied at 87 overall, Georgia and Oklahoma. Now, personally, I need to see the player rating for the Georgia team. I think they have multiple guys that are like first round draft caliber players. I think, in my opinion, a lot of people are sleeping on or just disregarding Gunnar Stockton and how good he really is. I think he's a tremendous player. I think he can create. He's a dual threat, a true dual threat. He shows the capabilities of running the ball and creating plays when a play is broken. I feel like people are really underrating him. So I would have to see how they rated Gunnar Stockton in this game, because I think that might be what it was like hurting their overall maybe. Because I know a lot of people are criminally underrating Gunnar Stockton. And then in terms of Oklahoma, I'm gonna have to say Oklahoma's a little surprising. So but I can agree. I think they have good players that came from the transfer portal. I think they got a couple of notable like receivers and linemen in the transfer portal. So I think that's huge. And it did surprise me a little bit that Oklahoma was an 87, but I can agree to that. I can see some truth to that. So, yeah. Kalena?
Me personally, I disagree with both. I think Georgia's underrated. I would put them probably at like an 88, 89. I feel like they had a level of roster, and I especially like trust Kirby Smart to get them to where they want to go. And they had like in the last 2 years they made the playoffs, and they had like razor thin losses. Like one, Gunnar Stockton had to step in after Carson Beck got injured, and you could tell like that really affected their offense. And then last year they just lost a nail biter to Ole Miss, and that's a team we saw them beat in the regular season. So it's not like this team they really fell off in my opinion. So I kind of expect Kirby to keep them humming, and I feel like they should be close to the top 5. On this list. And then
I will say this though. I will say this. One thing that I did notice was like in their losses that was a consistent problem was their receivers, right? Like Gunnar Stockton was throwing.
Yeah, that reminds me.
Gunnar Stockton was throwing the ball well.
I do think Georgia's receivers will be much better this year. Like overall,
Yeah.
like, I expect them. That's maybe part of the reason why I think they're underrated. I do like Georgia's receiving core this year.
Yeah.
And then as for Oklahoma, I'm not a huge John Mateer guy. Like, I don't think he's like bad or anything. I just don't think he's really that elite. And then I have major questions about their running game. They last year they still weren't able to run the ball well at all. And then Brent Venables has been very inconsistent. Like in his 4 years, he's gone 6-7, 10-3, 6-7, 10-3. So it's been very up and down. So I would not be surprised at all if we saw Oklahoma take a step back this year. But yeah.
Okay, Bryce.
I saw Gunnar Stockton play maybe one game in the playoffs. He didn't look bad. I saw John Mateer play. He was cool. I mean, I don't really watch these teams enough I don't watch Georgia or Oklahoma enough to rate them, so I'm just gonna say agree with them.
Okay.
They gotta show me. I feel like if we're gonna rate them, we gotta see how they play in this year, because college football always updates. So I want to see if they do play good. Will they go up or will they stay the same? Because if they stay the same, then that's kind of like college football already expecting to reach their ceiling already. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see how they play this year. So I'm gonna say agree with both the ratings.
Okay. We'll say this. One team that I think should have been in the top 10 this year, and this is I wouldn't say a bold or a hot take, but it's somewhat of a take, is Alabama. I feel like Alabama should have been a top 10 team this year. I think they got better in terms of their roster.
Who's
This
who's taking over Ty Simpson's spot?
We don't
it's
know
it's
yet.
still between Keelan Russell and Austin Mack.
Yeah,
It's a quarterback. It's a quarterback competition right now.
My
And
gut feeling, it
I
might will
think
be on Russell.
I
That's-
think the battle. I think one of them will end up transferring next year, or like at the end of the QB battle.
Yeah, but I like both of those guys. I don't think.
Oh yeah, no, they're both great players. I just one of them have to win, right? So
Yeah, so I don't think Alabama will have a quarterback issue this year. This isn't 2024 Michigan.
yeah, no.
Interesting.
All right.
Okay.
All right. What's our next segment? I think is hot takes, right?
Our next segment is you are right. Our next segment is our weekly heat check or our hot takes of the week. And thank you guys once again for submitting your hot takes. We very much appreciated that. So without further ado, let's get into our top 3. Here we go. First hot take. Brock Purdy is a top 10 NFL QB.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Okay. Can we name
Okay,
10 players better than Brock Purdy?
We gotta get I feel like we have to get the obvious out of the way, right? Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Burrow,
Stafford.
and Stafford. Those are the 5 obvious ones. Do you make a case for Drake May?
Would you put Burrow up there?
Yes.
But
Absolutely.
who's done more? I guess you could say Burrow. Yeah, he won.
Burrow.
No, he lost.
No, he
I
lost
mean,
the
they
Super Bowl.
both lost in the Super Bowl.
But I feel like Burrow, not only talent-wise, but accomplishments-wise, he's led the league in passing yards, passing touchdowns.
Okay.
Like he's led the league in those categories. I don't think Brock Purdy has done that yet.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can put Burrow in that category.
Yeah.
Do we put Drake May? Do we make a case for Drake May?
I would say off of this last year, yeah.
Okay.
I would have him over Brock Purdy. So that's
What about I'm biased, but Caleb Williams.
Would we put Caleb Williams over Brock Purdy?
Personally, yes.
Give me your reasoning.
Talent wise and ceiling wise, he's ahead of.
So you think Caleb Williams has a higher ceiling than Brock Purdy?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like in my opinion, I think we've seen what Purdy can do in this league. We still don't know. Caleb has a lot more untapped potential, in my opinion, than Brock Purdy.
Gotcha.
And then
what about Jared Goff?
Jared Goff better than
he's been to the Super Bowl before. He's been to the NFC Championship multiple times. You can make an argument.
Yeah.
I think Caleb Williams is
struggling. I think we can say that Brock Purdy's a top 10 QB because you can put Bo Nix, you could put Justin Herbert, but
would you put Jalen Hurts?
Maybe.
Personally, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes for Jalen Hurts.
I will also lean towards Justin Herbert. Like I know Brock Purdy has been to his rule, but if we're going based off talent, I would go off Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
But I feel like those are debatable.
I'm trying to think. Are there any more obvious ones that we're missing? You got Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow, Allen.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say Brock Purdy's a top 10 QB.
Got Stafford. Do you put Darnold ahead of him though?
Sam Darnold. I thought Sam Darnold was.
I'm gonna say yes.
I thought Sam Darnold was. I thought he wasn't good last year though.
No, he was
good.
No, he had. The reason why he was so good this year is because he had a great year last year.
Okay.
He had a bounce back year, and I don't know.
Yeah.
But when we put him against Brock Purdy though,
here I don't know if he's definitively better.
I'd say he is better at this moment.
Maybe. I don't know if I would agree with
that's
that.
a great. Whoever put that, that's a great hot take. That's a great hot take. I enjoy it.
No, literally.
Yeah.
Okay,
I would agree with that. I would agree with that take though.
I would agree with that as well.
Okay.
What's the next one?
Second hot take of the week. It's harder to win in the NFL than the NBA.
Ooh. Okay. I'm going to disagree. Because the just off of the playoff structure alone, winning in the NFL, you can win. What is it? 4 games? You can win 4 games in a row, or you can win 4 games by repeating that same blueprint. Whereas in the NBA, the same thing might not be able to happen twice against the same team because you're playing the same team. You have to beat them for 4 games. That's harder to do. There's more games that you have to win in the NBA than there is in the NFL. So that's why I think winning in the NBA is a little bit harder, especially when it comes to repeating championships. I think you can repeat championships more often in the NFL than you can in the NBA.
I think the question really comes down to like, how hard is it to be the best team in the NFL versus how hard is it to be the best team in the NBA? And I would say right now, as the leagues currently stand, it's harder to be the best team in the NBA year after year after year compared to the NFL because, like if you look at the Chiefs, right? If you get like a good quarterback, right, and then you get enough pieces around him. Not saying that's easy to do because if it's not, everyone would do it.
Yep.
But if you do it, you're set up for at least the next 3 years to be a contender. In the NBA, like you may be a contender 1 year, but especially recently, like we thought the Celtics were going to be the next dynasty. We thought the Nuggets may have been the next dynasty. People thought like the Thunder were going to go back to back. So I would disagree with that take and say it's harder to win consistently year over year in the NBA.
Yep. Bryce, I know you're more of an NBA fan, so
Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah, I'm gonna say it's not harder to win in the NFL than the NBA. The NBA is a little more, I don't know, it's a little more structured in the terms of like you said, Jackson, the games are like it's a different format. So the NFL, I mean, physically, I feel like. Well, I guess this is the question. Physically, it's harder to win the. I don't know.
On the body, I would definitely say football is more demanding than basketball.
Exactly. So I mean, in that way, yeah, sure. I guess you could say like, I mean, in terms of like wear and tear with both sports, yes, NFL is probably way harder. But the NBA, it's way harder when the NBA. Everything's constantly changing. People are constantly I wouldn't say constantly changing, but people are like getting better at a more rapid pace in my opinion. In the NBA, like it's more of a clock in, clock out type of thing. But I mean, that you can say that for the NFL too. But I don't know. The NBA it's just more of a different structure to make it harder to kind of. And you gotta think about it, the 4-game or the 7-game series. First 4, like you can adapt. If you're a good coach, you can adapt to what you need to do in 5 games. So yeah, it's a little harder.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. What's the next one?
All right. The next one is my favorite one, actually. Hot take of the week, number 3. NIL should have a cap limit.
Yes, it should. In my opinion, yes.
Okay.
Because there's teams like you look at Oregon, you look at Ohio State, you look at other teams like that. They have unlimited NIL money. That means they could, if they wanted to, they could pay for a lot of players. Granted, I feel like that's been happening, but I think in terms of getting a cap limit, that will make, to me, recruiting and keeping your roster, that will make it more competitive in that kind of sense.
For me, I feel like in an ideal world, like there would be a cap limit, but I don't know if it's like necessary because I feel like the best teams, regardless of if there's a cap limit or not, are going to be the teams that use the money wisely. So, like, we can look at, like, Texas Tech and Indiana, right? Like, Indiana obviously it's not like they were broke, but they didn't. I would guess that they weren't like top 10 in like NIL this year, and they were pretty clearly the best team all year, and it's because Signetti identified the guys he wanted, and they just knew what to do. Like that's always gonna matter more than how much money you have. And at the end of the day, no one is forcing these programs to spend $40 million, $50 million. Like, if you want a player and he's asking for too much money, you can just say, we don't have that money for you. We can offer you this, but... And I guess I feel like if coaches kind of realize that, then the market will regulate themselves, will kind of regulate itself, because you're gonna hear like, okay, you're a good player, but we're not paying $20 million for you. Just throwing out a number out there.
And I mean, like, the landscape of college football is changing rapidly. Like, it's never the same year in, year out. So I think there's gonna be eventually there will be a limit. We don't know when, we don't know how, and we don't know like how they will enforce it. But I think eventually there will be. Bryce, what do you think?
Well, Colin, that's actually you brought up a good thing. The top 10, like you didn't think Indiana was a top 10 like use for NIL. They weren't broke, but they weren't top 10 probably NIL use this year, right? Let's actually look at that fact. So, I actually pulled it up, and the top 10 teams for this year for NIL were. Do you guys want to guess the first one?
Ohio State.
Texas.
You said Ohio State.
Yeah,
you said
Texas.
So it was Texas at nearly 48 million. 48 million.
Oh.
The second team, y'all want to guess that one?
Ohio State.
Miami. For 44 million. The next one is...
No, I remember, I think they gave like Carson Beck like $5 million.
Oh, brother. Well, that's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Okay, number 3 was Ohio State.
With how much?
43.5.
Okay. They had a $50 million roster last year. Or the year they won the national championship.
I think it was $40 million or something.
I thought it was $50 million.
I feel like I don't think teams have gone to $50 million yet.
Okay, number 4. Can you guys guess this one? So you already said Miami, Texas, and Ohio State.
Is it Texas Tech?
Louisiana State.
LSU.
42.8 million. You got something to say, Jackson? Good.
No. I have nothing today.
Okay, alright. Number 5 is Oregon at 42.8, tied with the LSU.
Makes sense.
IT money, man.
Makes sense. That's that, yeah.
Yeah, Notre Dame is number 6 at 40.4 million.
Makes sense.
Texas A&M at 38.9 million.
They're higher than Texas Tech?
Yeah. University of Alabama at 37.2 million.
That makes sense.
Texas Tech at 36.3 million.
That's it?
Yeah, I guess that is.
They got the oil money. I thought they would have been did that.
And then, last but not least, University of Tennessee at 35.7 million. So just to show, University of Tennessee.
Really?
Yeah.
But I think that kind of goes to illustrate my point. That, like, the top spenders weren't necessarily the top 10 teams. Pretty hit or miss on how good those teams were.
Yeah, I would say in order to show if you really deserve to, just for example, if you really deserve to recruit Jeremiah Smith on your team, you should have a cap limit of NIL. Okay, I get it. Offering these kids money, they don't come from a good back. Some kids don't come from a good background. Some do come from a good background. I get the money part, but just a cap of it, like $48 million that's a lot. It's egregious.
Yeah, but I think the problem is that, like, how do you legally? I think the issue is not like if you ask a coach, most coaches would love a cap limit. The
Yeah,
problem is how do you implement that without like a players union, without like there's like because there's no like law saying you can't pay
Yeah, I
a single
think
football player $50 million.
I think there's a certain way you can regulate it in terms of the usage. So I think you can create a budget. You can create a budget for these schools, saying like the NCAA. I feel like the NCAA or the
I know
NCAA.
the NCAA has limited like ad revenue caps,
Yeah, but
but
I think I think like if they
but
made the budget saying you can use this much for recruiting, and like say it's like not a certain number, but it's like you can use 50% of your NIL budget for recruiting. The other can go to your staff. The other can go to your
but
facilities.
I feel like they like you don't. It's like, but the problem is like the money isn't necessarily coming strictly from the NCAA. Like
right.
a lot
No,
of
it's coming
it,
from donors. It's coming from donors, and there's a way to regulate donors through the
you really
NCAA.
can't because like it's coming through like because technically you're not supposed to do pay for play at all under NCAA rules. But like I guess we're not lawyers, so if any lawyers want to come on the
Yeah,
show,
if anybody wants to provide some implement of this, it'd be
yeah.
great.
But from my understanding is that they can limit like revenue sharing because that's money directly controlled by like the schools and the
Yeah,
NCAA itself. But I don't
yeah,
know if they can really limit donor sharing because it's technically the schools technically aren't paying. Like the University of Michigan isn't giving uh, Bryce Underwood a salary to play football.
yeah, yeah.
So
There's just there is a way we just don't know.
Exactly.
so
All right, moving on.
All right, y'all. Moving on. That was the weekly heat checks, aka hot takes of the week. Thank you guys once again for submitting those. Were perfect. Brought up a good point. I think our favorite conversation, our favorite hot take was the NIL because that is egregious amount of money. $48 million. You got to think about that's egregious. But anyways, all right, y'all. We are now into our quick hitter of the day. Big deal or no deal. All right,
Okay.
big deal or no deal. So, come out once again, you guys. If you guys are new here, we have 3 statements. If you think it's a big deal, you say big deal. If you think it's no deal, you say no deal. No deal meaning you're not worried about it. If it's a big deal, you're worried about it. Let's get right into it. Statement 1 of the week. Alabama ranked last in the SEC for the 2027 recruiting class. Big deal or no deal?
I feel like we should just all go around and just say big deal
Okay.
or no deal initially, and then we'll give our
yeah, let me
reaction.
just explain.
I'll start. I think it's a big deal.
I think it's no deal.
I think it's a big deal.
Okay. Bryce, you can start with the reasoning, unless you want me to.
No, you're good.
Okay. I feel like it's a big deal because in years prior to this point, they wouldn't be ranking last in the SEC because they're Bama. Like they're Bama. I don't like. It's something about that pedigree of Alabama playing for Alabama football that I think it brought more players in. But I think like this is kind of an indication of the trajectory that Bama's going in. They have a good coach, they have a good roster, but it's just not clicking for some reason. And I think there's just some parts, some pieces that need to click in order for players to be like, okay, if I come here, I can win a championship and I'll be NFL ready at the same time. So I think with that being said, I think like at this moment, it's kind of a big deal because years prior, they wouldn't be in this position, right? So
Yeah, me personally, I think it's no deal. Um, usually, like, yeah, usually Bama would be, um, you know, near the top of the SEC and recruiting rankings. But I personally don't really care about specific recruiting rankings in June. Um, it happens every year. There's always like some blue blood program that has like a bad recruiting class in June. People are like, the recruiting class isn't looking so good. and then they end up where they always end up at the end of every year. So I feel like I would be more shocked if Bama didn't end up with like a at the minimum top 10 class like they do like pretty much every year, and it would be a big deal if by the time signing day rolls around and then they're
like if it were November, it'd be a huge deal. Like,
if it was closer to signing day, I'd be way more concerned. But in June,
it'd be a giant problem if it was November.
Yeah, and then even in the recruiting class, they still have like they still have a 5-star QB who's arguably the best in his class. So
yeah.
I'm going to say big deal because I'm sorry, I said big deal because you are Alabama. You should not be last in the 2027 recruiting class.
Regardless of how early it is.
Thank you. You're Bama. You are, I wouldn't even say founder of college football, but like you are up there in prestigious names of like when I think of college football and I think of putting on that hat at hat selection day, you would dream that Alabama is on that table, and you're telling me you're not in the 2027 recruiting class? You're telling me you're not top 10? That's just not good. That's a big deal for me. So that brought up a good point at what Kalina said about like it's not teams. The sport is changing, but that just shows the trajectory you're going down. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a thing. But yeah, that's my deal.
Cool.
All right. The next big deal or no deal statement of the week. Shedeur Sanders has bridged the gap between himself and Deshaun Watson. Big deal or no deal?
I'm going to say big deal.
I'm also going to say big deal.
I'm going to say big deal as well.
All right, and I think I can speak on behalf of all of us. I feel like this is a big deal because at one point Deshaun Watson was a round 1 talent. He was a day 1 draft talent. And he was good with the Texans. He was good in Houston. He got paid that money in Cleveland because of his talent, right? Like, and the fact that Shedeur is bridging that gap with Deshaun Watson right now in year 2, that's a pretty big deal. And in terms of Shedeur's perspective, that's a big deal because you were selected round 5, round 6,
like late too.
I think it was 5th round. You were selected late in the draft. The fact that you're catching up with somebody who was drafted round 1 caliber and was able to produce at a great rate in the NFL at one point in his career, and you're already catching up to that in year 2, that's a big thing. That's also a big thing for Cleveland and Deshaun Watson in general because Deshaun Watson needs to prove himself this year. This is the last year of his contract, I think, of that big contract. This is the last year of his big contract. And then, the Browns are like, we paid him all that money, and yet Shedeur Sanders is running laps around him in training camp or in practice. So, that's showing something. That's a big deal regardless.
Yeah, I would say this is a big deal because I think this is what the Browns would want to happen. Obviously, Deshaun Watson has not played up to his contract at all. And it was questionable that he got it in the first place, if you ask me. But I think if you're the Browns, you would would hope Shedeur is at least good enough for you to move on from Deshaun Watson. Because he is in the final year of his contract, so you don't have to cut him. You just let him go. His contract is off the books, and you still might have the quarterback of the future on your roster. And even if not, you would be in a better position to go ahead and draft the next guy or surround more talent for the next guy. So I think it's a big deal if that's happening.
Yeah. They doubted my boy, you know what I'm saying? I actually did like Shedeur. They really, media wise, they slandered that man to the ground. But it's a big deal because the fact that you're in, let's just take Deshaun Watson out the picture. The fact that you're even bridging a gap from this last year was his rookie year and coming into his sophomore year.
Yep.
And now you're bridging a gap between how long has Deshaun Watson played in the NFL?
8.
I think this is year 9.
8 or 9, I think.
8 or 9.
He was the same draft class as Mahomes.
Yeah.
Okay. So just bridging that gap in your sophomore year, and I guess you consider him a vet, or not even a vet. Like he's up there as playing a long time. Just bridging that gap, and with any player like that, that says a lot that you've been working, and that's a big deal for me. That you without all the people that are saying you're wrong, all the people are saying that you don't know how to play the game, you're still proving that you know how to play. He's gonna keep playing your game. So I'm excited to see what he does this season. Now,
yeah, no, that's a huge deal.
How the Browns gonna play?
We'll have to find out.
This is actually a good thing for the Browns. They have 2 former Pro Bowl QBs competing for their QB spot.
Is it Tyler Huntley and?
No, Shedeur.
Oh wait, Tyler Huntley's back on the Ravens, isn't it?
Yeah, but like Shedeur.
Oh yeah, Shedeur was a Pro Bowler. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. I forgot.
Hey man, all right. The next big deal and no deal of the day, and the last big deal and no deal of the day is statement number 3. Sam Levitt is back to full strength for LSU.
I'm gonna say big deal.
I'm also gonna say big deal.
I'm gonna say no deal.
Ooh. Okay. I think it's a big deal because he transferred over from Arizona State to LSU and wants to play for Lane Kiffin. And I think anytime that a player who had a good year, like he had a good year 2 years ago. Last season he got riddled with injuries, so it's just it was unfortunate. But this year he's back to 100% and playing like his old self. I think that's a huge thing, and that's a big deal because he at one point was. He was, I think, like literally a couple plays away from beating Texas in the college football playoffs.
So he just transferred this year.
Yeah, he just transferred this year.
And this is going to be his first year playing at LSU?
Yeah, and this is my thing. He's a junior. He still has a lot to develop. He can develop. He can stay another year under Lane Kiffin and play another year after this one and be better. So I think it's a big deal that he's already back 100%.
Yeah, I would just say it's a big deal because anytime you have your starting quarterback healthy, that's a big deal for your team.
Absolutely.
So, it's as simple as that for me.
Bryce?
I'm gonna say no deal because I just think LSU is in. I don't know if you would even call it like a rebuilding stage. They have what they need. It's just the get. I call it the get it in sync stage. Everyone has to play together. So. You can have somebody that's 100%, but if your team's not, this is a team sport. If your team's not there yet, if Lane hasn't figured out that factor that connects everybody together and plays as one, then I feel like he's just gonna have a year that either makes him look bad or makes the team look bad. So I'm just gonna say no deal. I just want to see what happens with him first. Like I want to see how the LSU plays first.
All right. Cool. That wraps up our big deal or no deal segment. Thank y'all. We appreciate it. Now, what we got next, Bryce?
We have next, man, that is the main thing. Keep the main thing, and that's the main thing today. And the main thing today we're talking about is the 2027 Big Board discussion.
Okay, so with this Big Board discussion, we will be going over 10 players that really interested us in terms of where we put them. And then we're going to go over their strengths and weaknesses that we noticed on the initial look, the first look. This is, just a couple games that we watched, and these were common things that we noticed. So, let's just get started. Who is first?
First is Dante Moore.
Yeah, so...
Okay, cool. Come on, take it away.
Yeah, so on our mock draft that's up on our website, we have him going first overall to the Arizona Cardinals. He is a quarterback at Oregon. He threw for 3,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, had 10 receptions and had a QBR of 78.5.
Awesome. And then a couple of strengths that I noticed. He has a quick and compact release that allows him to throw with timing, and it minimizes how much the time that he takes to throw the ball. He has great arm strength, which is capable of driving the ball into tighter windows and pushing it vertically with great velocity as well. He does show strong short and intermediate accuracy. He's able to hit the layups and hit the hit those intermediate passes with great accuracy. He's putting the ball in places that the wide receiver can get great yards after the catch opportunity. So we call those runner balls. So if he's able to throw a runner's ball, he's able to the wide receiver can catch the ball in stride and just cut up field. He's very effective with his pocket movement. He shows the ability to just navigate when he's in the pocket and it's closing in on him. He's able to evade pressure, and he's able to he understands when he needs to step up and throw the ball, and when he needs to just run and go get a first down. And he shows the ability to manipulate in space and create throwing lanes for himself. He shows good athleticism, which allows him to escape and extend plays and throw accurately on the move. And he shows flashes on throwing with anticipation on his short and intermediate routes, especially on the outs and comebacks. He seems the most comfortable throwing with anticipation on those. And he also shows that he's comfortable throwing from different arm angles, which is something you look for in an NFL talent QB. You want to see them be able to throw, sidearm to just get the ball to the check down when a defender's in their face, or he can throw off angle, and he can also throw when he's off platform and his feet aren't set as well, and he still has that good velocity and accuracy as well. Couple weaknesses that I noticed. His deep ball placement and touch, they need more refinement. Receivers they're forced to adjust to the ball a little too often. And it happens a lot on these go balls and these deeper routes because it's just the placement isn't there. He's not putting those in a position where the receiver can catch the ball in stride and keep moving. And you saw it in the film that there was times where a touchdown could have happened, or a big play could have happened if the ball was put in a better place. Oftentimes he's a little too ahead. Sometimes he's too far out of the wide receiver's frame, causing the receiver to adjust. His anticipation on the deeper routes and on some routes in the middle of the field are a little inconsistent. His timing, it varies drive to drive. Sometimes he's hitting it quick and before the receiver gets in their break, and other times he's hesitating too much and ends up having to force it into a tighter window than he needed. He does need to work on his ability to process the field quicker. Oftentimes, I saw him miss an open receiver because he was staring too long at his initial read. And when you stare too long at your initial read, all the other routes kind of get locked up more often than not. So I want to see him be able to trust his eyes more consistently. He shows that he has the vision to go and find the open man. You just want to see him trust that ability more. I want to see his escapability also improve. Once the initial pressure gets there, it's hard for him to break a tackle. Maybe putting some more muscle in his frame will help him do that. And he doesn't always evade that early penetration. So say a defensive lineman just goes through the offensive line real fast. He's often a little too slow to react to that. And you just want to see him show that his feel for pressure a little bit more, and you want to see him extend that feel for pressure into the initial pressure when it's coming to him. His decision making, there are lapses in that, which is why his interception total was as high as it was. You just want to see him trust his timing and anticipation. You just want to see him trust that, and I think that's what happens in the terms of the decision making. Like I said, that he doesn't process the field quick enough, which causes him to misplace the ball inaccurately. So I think a little bit more evaluation on that will keep him a round one talent and a day one talent. I think he will be able to lock himself into that first overall pick role as the season progresses if he works on these smaller minute details like the deep ball placement and stuff. Who is next?
Wow. Our next player is Jeremiah Smith.
Jeremiah Smith is second in our mock draft. The school he goes to isn't important. He had 87 receptions.
What school did he go to? I forgot.
Bro, the school doesn't matter. Anyway.
Okay.
He had 87 receptions, 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns, and he averaged 14.3 yards a catch.
Awesome. His strong points. He shows elite and dependable hands with the ability to high point the ball and almost like pluck it out of the air. He can secure the ball through heavy contact. Even when a defender is draped all over him, he still was able to make those tough catches. He has a sudden and quick release that kind of makes the defender have to give up their leverage and declare which way they're trying to make Jeremiah go initially, which allows him to read and react and make the right move to get open. He shows great physicality, and he weaponizes his physicality as a route runner and as a blocker. He shows the ability to hand fight with DB when the DB is pressing him, and more often than not, he's winning that battle. And even as a blocker, he's able to use his strength to get all up in the DB's face and push him back. He does show polish in his intermediate and deep route running, where he is consistently finding the soft spots in zone coverage, and he's consistently creating separation in those routes. He shows great footwork. He shows the use of head and shoulder fakes, which I think is a big thing for receivers. And yeah, he just shows the ability to find the soft spot. He shows an excellent. I think this is his best ability. He shows the ability to adjust to the ball well. He attacks the ball when it's in the air, and he's winning contested catches consistently. You look for that in receivers, especially in college receivers, because if they can win contested catches in college consistently, more often than not, then that kind of translates to the NFL, because the defenders in the NFL are going to be faster, they're going to be stronger, they're going to be smarter. So you want to see him win the contested catches early, just to get a good feel for it for when he needs to do it in the NFL. He shows good speed, which allows him to close the space quickly between him and the defender when the defender's in zone or off man, and he separates well at the top of his routes. His hand-eye coordination is top tier, which enables him to make those difficult catches and those one-handed catches, those highlight plays, and his blocking is there. The ability to block is there. He uses his size and his strength well to displace defenders and create lanes for the running back as well, or the ball carrier in general. He does have weaknesses. He's not the most perfect receiver. He doesn't have that elite, breakaway speed or acceleration that you want to see, which kind of limits how much of a vertical threat that he could be. But he still is a vertical threat. Don't get me wrong. You want to see him use his acceleration in a way that allows him to just run past the guy and go. He does show that he needs to work on his short area route running. There was a couple of times where on these whips or on these sticks, he's taking too many steps than you would like, which causes them to be choppy and slower, and he's not creating that separation in those short routes. His yak production is there, but it's inconsistent. He shows flashes, but it's not a reliable part of his game yet. I think it will be. I just don't think it is right now. And occasionally he is slow to get to the defender when he's supposed to be blocking, especially on the outside runs. He's just a little too slow to get there, and which causes him to overreach and miss his block at times.
All right then, my man. Just good kid's dog. I like him. Wait, Clinton, what school does he go to again? Forget.
Not important, man. Just
that's on me. All right. Next we have Arch Manning.
All right.
Okay. Arch Manning is third in our mock draft. He goes to Texas. He threw for 3,100 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions, and had a QBR of 78.
And who's drafting him?
The team that is drafting him is the New York Jets.
Okay. So some strong points. He has a quick and efficient release that allows him to fit those throws into tight windows and stay upright longer in the pocket. He shows good arm talent. He's capable of throwing from multiple arm angles, much like Dante Moore, and he can generate the velocity that is needed to throw into tight windows, even when he's off platform. He's very accurate on the move. In my opinion, I think he looks more confident when he's on the move and outside of the pocket trying to deliver a pass. He's very good on those bootlegs, and anytime he has to roll out, he's able to deliver precise throws while rolling out or escaping pressure. He shows good athleticism. He has great acceleration for a quarterback, great agility for a quarterback, and he also has the strength to shed the initial contact, which I think comes from his frame. He's a very tall guy, and I think even adding a little bit more muscle on his frame will go a long way. He's very effective when he's moving in the pocket. He's able to, climb up into the pocket, deliver a pass, and he's able to find space that will allow him to extend the play and create even rushing lanes for himself. He shows high-level anticipation, and he shows the ability to deliver with confidence when he trusts what he sees. So he delivers well-timed throws and shows that ability, yes, when he trusts what he sees. Now, that kind of goes into his weaknesses. Sometimes he's a little too hesitant to throw with anticipation. It's a little inconsistent at times. He gets late. He's late to the look or late to the window, and then that causes him to speed up his mechanics and throw an inaccurate pass. His lower body mechanics are also a little inconsistent. Sometimes he's throwing flat-footed, or he's not resetting his base to deliver a strike. And I think working on that will allow him to throw with more accuracy and more poise. His touch and placement need a little bit more refinement. There's a lot of missed opportunities and big plays that he missed because his touch was off or his placement was off. I think his pocket navigation, while it is there, it's inconsistent at times. Sometimes he doesn't step up when he needs to, and kind of relies on his ability to run when there's somebody open, but he was too quick to abandon the look. So because of the pressure that came to him, and he just decided to run for the yards. I mean, that's a good thing, but if you just stay in that pocket a little longer, you'll be able to hit that throw and make those big plays. His deep ball accuracy, it does fluctuate. One drive, he's hitting it well. He looks accurate, looks confident, but other times his pass location, it drifts away when his mechanics break down, like I was saying earlier. So I think just trusting in his mechanics, making it second nature, will go a long way in allowing him to be a round one talent. He has the ability, he has the talent. I just want to see him use it on a more consistent basis and just show his confidence.
Got it. Yeah, guys, sorry. I was watching the clip where he just stood over that guy and just quickly mogged him. It's not okay at all. Anyways, next is Cam Coleman.
Cool.
Cam Coleman is 5th in our mock draft, and he's going to the Las Vegas Raiders, so he'll be pairing up with Mendoza, according to us right now.
How's Mendoza?
Yep. He's at Texas now, but he was at Auburn. He had 56 receptions, 708 yards, and 5 touchdowns last season.
Awesome. Some strong points. He shows strong and dependable hands, the ability to just high point the football. He's one of those guys that wins contested catches. And he uses his frame and his body to box out defenders well, which allows him to create those clean windows to secure the ball. A lot of the times you see it in these more physical receivers. They don't create the separation at a high level or a lot of separation, which you would like to see. It's always a good thing, but he creates even more separation with using his body. He uses his frame well. He's like boxing out a defender, like he's going for a rebound. So it's very cool to see how physical he gets, and I think that's a very useful tool, especially in the NFL. He has an efficient release off the line. He wastes no movement and attacks the leverage with purpose. His overall route running is great. He shows strong. He shows a strong ability to sell vertical, and he controls his speed well. He changes his speed to kind of use that to attack the DB's leverage, and he uses physical hands to separate from the DB, especially when the DB is being physical with him. He shows great functional speed and size, which allows him to create that separation, even though he doesn't have the elite level acceleration. He does have good yards after catch ability. He uses his strength to break tackles and the agility to make defenders miss in space. He creates after he catches the ball, which is what you want to see. He shows competitive toughness after the catch. He fights for those extra yards, and he maximizes each touch, which is a great thing. A couple of his weaknesses: he doesn't have that top end acceleration. It kind of limits his ability to separate, but he still is a great vertical threat ability, and he can create that separation. His route running is a lot more defined because he doesn't have the acceleration to rely on. So his route running is very polished. He does have the occasional concentration drops. It happens when you're trying to cut up field too fast. You're trying to make a play happen too fast, and he just takes his eye off the ball. You want to see him, get rid of those lapses. I mean, it doesn't happen often, but it still does happen. There are times where at the top of his route, he's a little too choppy, and it kind of throws off the timing of the football, and it kind of diminishes the suddenness of his break. You want to see his breaks be more sudden and be more just twitchy. So just further refinement on the top of his routes will go a long way for him. I want to see him throw his shoulders, throw his head to really sell those routes, especially on the double moves. He does a good job of still, catching the ball and finishing. I think a little bit more, just use of deception in terms of his upper body will go a longer way in his ability to separate. His blocking does need work, especially when it comes to timing the use of his hands. Oftentimes, it's a little too early. He doesn't close the space in between the defender and him. When he does close the space, he's too quick to reach with his hands, causing him to be off balance, and the defender can easily shed that block. So you just want to see his blocking technique just get refined a little bit more. His yards after the catch. Agility is there. Oftentimes you don't really see him make a move. You kind of want to see him not rely on his strength so much. You want to see him, make defenders miss more. Make those highlight plays, because after all, like he's able to do it. You just want to see him do it more consistently, because he's leaving some yards on the table. But overall, I think he has the talents, and I think he has the ability to become a high upside wide receiver, especially a wide receiver one in the NFL. He just needs to further his refinement in the top of his breaks and just his blocking as well.
All right. Okay, cool. Next we have Drew Mestemaker.
Okay, so Drew Mestemaker is 6th in our mock draft. He's going to the Atlanta Falcons. And last year was at North Texas, where he transferred to Oklahoma State this year. He led the country in passing with 4,379 yards. He threw for 34 touchdowns and 9 interceptions, and a QBR of 74.8.
Yeah, and this is a guy who's very high on Kalenna's board. Kalenna thinks he has the ability to be QB1. And based off of what I saw in the initial looks, I have to...
You good there?
Yeah. You guys didn't hear that?
No, what was that?
Oh, guy mowing the lawn. Anyway, I have to agree. I think he does have the talent to be, QB1 in this draft class. He has very good arm talent. He has the ability to throw from multiple arm angles, and he has the arm strength to keep that good velocity even when he's off platform. He shows a quick and efficient release, and his release naturally kind of works with RPO concepts and a timing-based offense. He shows consistent touch and placement, and he allows the receivers to catch the ball in stride and get good yards after the catch. Throws the runner's ball well. His pocket mobility is good. It's good, and he uses efficient movement to buy time and just keep the play alive. Even when the play looks like it's locked up and there's nothing that can happen, he always seems to find a way to create. He's got functional athleticism. He shows good enough agility to evade, and he shows good enough speed to outrun a lineman chasing him. And he shows the athleticism to create outside of structure as well. He doesn't just rely on the system. He can go out and make the play himself. He shows strong anticipation. I noticed that he shows really good anticipation when he's outside of the numbers, like when he's throwing outside of the numbers. So any like out routes, curl routes, or comebacks that are outside of the numbers, he does a really good job of throwing the receivers open. He can throw the ball while the receiver's still in his break, and it'll be on a rope. He shows poise. He's very poised for a quarterback. He shows the ability to step up in the pocket, and he understands how he can create a platform for himself to make those accurate throws. And he's always finding a way to create a platform for himself to make that throw and generate good plays, even when he's not in the right platform of his body. So it's something really good and really something you really look forward to. Just to see it happen more. His weaknesses: he's not an elite athlete. He's not the fastest like Arch, but he does still show dual threat potential. He occasionally has these rush decisions because of like the pressure that comes to him, which kind of leads to forced throws. When he gets rushed, he's forcing throws. It looks like his first read at times. There are times where you just want to see him hit the layups. You want to see him hit the check down, hit the drag route. You want to see him hit those and just, kind of minimize how often he is just forcing throws, trying to make a big play happen. You still want to see it happen, but you just don't want to see him force it as much. On the shorter concepts, he kind of like sees the windows to throw it late. There are often times where his mechanics for short timing routes can be a little messed up, and that causes for misses on like the layups. We want to see him hit the layups. At times, his timing can be almost too fast. He's throwing the ball so quick that the receivers can't even find the ball. They can't locate it and track it yet. So you want to see, him slow down, especially when he's rushed. You just want to see him slow down a little bit more. His deep ball accuracy, while it is solid, it hasn't consistently been tested yet. You haven't seen him like throw off of what we saw. We haven't seen him like throw with the deep ball, and it hasn't been in a situation where he needs to throw with like great precision. You just want to see him. You want to see him like test it at the next level, because he was at North Texas, so he wasn't in the strongest conference. And I guess like the real thing that can kind of solidify him being a day one pick is can he replicate his season that he just had at a Power 4 school? Can he do that? And if he does, that'll solidify him as a round one talent.
Yeah, for me, I really looking forward to their game against Texas Tech. I think that will.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
You're muted, Bryce.
Great, Bryce.
Yep. Yeah, got it. Tae Johnson's next.
Tae Johnson. Right.
Okay, so Tae Johnson is 10th in our mock draft, and he would be going to the New York Giants. He is a safety out of Notre Dame. He had 35 tackles last year and 4 interceptions with 3 pass deflections.
Awesome. Some strong points for him. He shows great range and closing speed, which allows him to break to the ball and from anywhere on the field. I once saw him go from an opposite hash to the sideline and just break up a pass from there. He shows the ability to high point. He has good hands, consistently attacks the ball when it's in the air, and he secures his interceptions before trying to go make a play. He shows good reaction instincts. He reads the quarterback's eyes well, and he triggers his movements with confidence, and he does so quickly and on time. He shows good plant and drive mechanics, which allows him to close space at an efficient rate, and he can challenge the throws that are in front of him, or he can challenge the throws that are behind him. He shows great confidence in zone. He shows good playmaking instincts. You just see him in the right place at the right time, which I think is a huge thing you want to see in a safety. You want to see them always be around the ball. That's what you look for in a safety. He shows the ability to be reliable in tackling. He doesn't allow people to miss. He doesn't really. Once they're in his arms, once they're in his grasp, he kind of makes sure they go to the ground. He's a very physical hitter. He's capable of delivering force like high impact tackles that are so hard that they break up a pass, or they cause the runner to just stop in their tracks, which I think is a huge thing. He shows good sideline to sideline range, and it's supported by his agility and acceleration and even his long speed. So those are some of his strong points. Now, in terms of his weaknesses, I do think he could benefit from putting more muscle on his frame. His hit power, while it is there, he also puts a toll on his body. So you want to see him add more muscle to his frame just to help his durability and ability to finish through a play. In man, he's a little inconsistent at the catch point. He's reacting well to the receiver's movements, but you just want to see him play the receiver's hands more. He's trying too hard to just make a tackle when there are times where he doesn't need to make a tackle. He could just, swat the ball when the receiver's trying to catch it. As the receiver's looking the ball in, that's when his hands should be coming down. And he has that ability. You just want to see him do it more often. His block shedding is there, but it must improve. Sometimes he's stuck for too long on his blocks. I get it. You want to hold your blocks to make sure the running back is, going the way you want him to go. But after you notice the running back is going that way, you want to see him shed the block and go make a play. Sometimes his angles and his downhill movements are inconsistent. A lot of time it leads to missed opportunities, especially in the run game. Pass game, he's fine. He shows the ability to take the right angles and pursuits well. But when it comes to the run game, sometimes he just doesn't take the right angles, and all of a sudden he's out of the play. So you just want to see him take those right angles and play downhill faster. He's a little too hesitant to make a play with his hands. He tries to just hit the receiver at times. It doesn't go for the ball, or he won't go for the receiver's hands. He just kind of goes for the receiver as a whole, which allows the receiver to have to make a tough catch, sure, but the receiver is making a tough catch, and you just want to see him trust in his hands more, trust his ability to go make a play, and if he does that, I think he will secure himself as a round one talent as well.
Okie dokie, we are now at Charlie Becker.
Hey, Hoosier, champion, national champion.
Charlie Becker.
Charlie Becker is going 11th overall in our mock draft, and he's going to the Washington Commanders. He goes to Indiana University, home of the national champion.
Natty.
Home of the what, Clona?
I think I said home of the national champion.
Natty.
That's right. The Natty.
Wait, who won the year before? Indiana?
All right, Bryce, that's enough out of you.
Not bad. I'm just asking.
So you're talking about in 2023? Oh, that was Michigan.
No, one after that.
Not important.
Yeah, that's something.
Charlie Becker had 34 receptions, 679 yards, and 4 touchdowns, and he averaged 20 yards a catch.
Okay. And this is my hot take. I think Charlie Becker has the talent to be wide receiver 1 in this draft class. A hot take. But I'm gonna tell you why. Some of his strong points, he shows really good speed and acceleration. He accelerates vertically well. He threatens defenses with his downfield playmaking ability. He's he's a legit deep threat. He consistently creates space with his speed. He shows strong and reliable hands and the ability to just extend his body and go grab the ball. He's grabbing a rebound in basketball. He's secure. He can even secure the ball away from his frame because of his long catch radius. You know, he has those long arms that allow him to adjust and make difficult catches in the air. Oftentimes, you saw Fernando have to rely on Charlie Becker to just go make a play. He just threw it up to him, and he when he needed him to make a play, and he did. He came down with it more often than not. Like I said, he shows great high point ability. He elevates confidently and wins contested catches with timing and his body control. He has a very underrated release package. I think his release is an underrated asset to his game. He manipulates defenders with his ability to change speed, and he can get skinny. Throw his shoulders underneath the DB's hands, which allows him to just navigate even when he's trying to get skinny. He shows great spatial awareness even after the catch. He shows flashes of finding open lanes and turning upfield after he catches the ball. And he shows good blocking technique because I feel like in Cignetti's offense, if you're not blocking, you're not playing. So he seems like he's very confident in his ability to block, and he stays within frame, and he works on keeping that defender, at the right angle just to sustain contact with them and create a running lane for the ball carrier. But he does have weaknesses. His yards after the catch ability, it's there, but the impact is a little inconsistent. Granted, he was the third wide receiver 3 in that offense, and he was mainly used as a deep threat. But he does show promise to be more dynamic and create in space. You just want to see him do it in this season. He shows good release versus physical DBs, but it can also improve. I want to see him. I want to see his hand fighting improve. I want to see him be able to maneuver a DB with his hands, not just rely on his feet. It's great to rely on your feet, but your hands can also get you a long way. I think he could unlock more play strength by just adding more muscle to his frame. You just want to see him use his strength to drive defenders back when he's blocking, and you want to see him just make more of an impact. I mean, he shows great impact in the run game. You just want to see him make more of an impact by disrupting the defender's pursuit angles more. His route running, while it is there, it's still developing. I think he needs to utilize his ability to accelerate quickly in his breaks and in his transitions, in his routes. You just want to see, at the top of his routes, he's shifting that gear. He's shifting that gear from running fast to really running fast. Like, you want to see him hit that second gear at the top of his routes just to create more separation. His production, it's there. It will be there, especially after this year. You just want to see him take that role of wide receiver 1 and run away with it in this upcoming season, because he has so much upside that I think is it's there. It's just it needs to be utilized this year. And if he does, I think that will secure him to be a round 1 talent.
Cool. Charlie Becker. Hey, I have a question. Do you guys think he's like a, what do they call it? Is it a lot? You guys said Elijah Wright would do a lot with a back shoulder.
Oh, he shows that ability. Like he can high point the ball well.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he will definitely be the go-to guy when it comes to, I need to throw it up and just see if somebody makes a play. I think that'll be Charlie Becker this year.
Okay, so cool, sweet. All right, our next person is Jamari Johnson.
Awesome.
Jamari Johnson is 17th in our mock draft, and he's going to the Cincinnati Bengals. He is tied in at Oregon. He has 32 receptions, 510 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the year last year.
Awesome. While there are a couple of tight ends that are also very good. The reason why I put Jamari Johnson as high as we did is because I feel like he has the traits that the other tight ends in this draft class is like it's there, but it's not as consistent as Jamari's. Given he was in that backup role, so a couple of the strong points. He shows great. He's a high end athlete for his position. Shows good speed, good acceleration, and really good fluidity in his routes and his ability to run the ball after the catch. He's a dynamic yards after the catch threat with the agility to make defenders miss and the quick twitch to create sudden separation at the top of his routes and even when the ball is in his hands already. He also displays the strength to shrug off tackles, especially when it's a defensive back. You hardly see him go down off the initial contact with like a defensive back. So that's a really good thing that you want to see. He shows strong and reliable hands. He consistently attacks the football and grabs it out of the air. Even at its highest point, he's able to just elevate effectively and efficiently and just grab the ball out of the air. He's very smooth and he's very polished for a tight end. He shows a good route tree, shows the ability to stem vertically, and then after he stems, he sells routes with his head and shoulders. He manipulates that leverage well, and he manipulates the defender's movements with his natural fluidity as well. He's very efficient with his release off the line. He wastes no movement, and he gets into his routes with purpose and control, even after checking the edge rusher. He seems to just get in his route fast and fluidly. He shows the good ability to high point. He elevates naturally, like I said, and secures the ball while before hitting the ground. He secures it well. He shows strong hand-eye coordination. He's a versatile blocker. He stays balanced. He keeps the defenders within his frame, and he drives them back with his feet. He shows the willingness to pass protect on the line, which I think is huge for a tight end, especially in today's game. You just want to see them be able to make an impact in the pass game and the run game when it comes to blocking. So it's really good to see. He can climb levels in the run game. Like I said, he makes an impact there. He can go from the edge, and then once he sees the running back is moving to the next level, he's keeping up with him and going to a linebacker, which that's a really promising thing to see out of a tight end. Now, his weaknesses, he does have the occasional concentration drops. It kind of happens when he's trying to just make a play upfield. He's trying to go upfield. He doesn't fully secure the ball. So you just want to see him get rid of those lapses. You just want to see him not trust his hands, but look the ball in all the way. His acceleration is there, but it's just not being fully maxed out in his routes. He leaves the ability to separate and the timing and on the top of his routes just to get better. And once he uses his ability to accelerate, especially in those mismatches with a slower linebacker or a lineman that's dropping back in coverage, I think he will do well in using his acceleration to separate. His release versus physical press, it needs to be improved a little bit. I think against those against those faster and more aggressive DBs, I think he often is a little too slow to get in his breaks. So you just want to see him, get physical back. You see the physicality when he's blocking. You see the physicality after the catch. You just want to see him use it in his route tree as well. He shows the deep threat ability. It's there. It just hasn't been fully unlocked. Granted, he was the backup, but you just want to see him become more of a deep threat, utilizing his ability to burst. And I think his routes could use a little bit more urgency, especially when attacking the leverage or breaking off the stem of the vertical cell. I think he could use a little bit more urgency in that. Sometimes he's a little too up high. He's up high too much, which causes him to run a little slower than he should be. and you just want to see his ability to separate just get refined, and just work on his ability to separate more. But if he becomes more of an asset, if he gets unlocked this year after having that backup role last year, I think he will secure himself as the tight end one in this draft class and go as high as the Bengals, because the Bengals do need a tight end coming up.
Okie dokie. All right, next you have Kyngstonn Viliami-Asa.
Viliami-Asa.
Okay, Viliami-Asa. I didn't want to butcher your name. All right.
Okay. Go ahead, Kalina.
He is 21st in our mock draft, and he would be going to the Houston Texans. He is a linebacker out of Notre Dame. He had 25 tackles in the year, 3 sacks, and 1 interception.
Cool. So for his strengths, he's an elite run defender with top tier trigger. When I say trigger, that means he commits. He commits downhill. He goes quick, and he meets the running back or the ball carrier at the line or behind the line well. He shows that he can line up anywhere. He shows the ability to line up in the slot and defend. He shows the ability to line up in the box and disrupt as a linebacker, and he also shows the ability to be on the line and still be effective even when blitzing. He has that sideline to sideline range, which you would normally see in like a safety, but he shows the ability to do that at linebacker. He can erase those plays and with his speed and acceleration, and he's able to make an impact in both the blitz and in coverage, which I think is huge. Shows a good feel for his spatial awareness, and which I think is something you really want to look for in a linebacker. He's very good at extending his body to go break up a pass, which I think is something you look for in a linebacker, to use their length, especially when the quarterback is trying to finesse the ball over the middle, over their heads. You just see him go up and be able to high point the ball, which I think is really cool to see from a linebacker. Now his weaknesses, it's not really a weakness. It's just, a question mark. He did have a season-ending knee injury in November. So you do want to see him make that recovery and be able to play at that high level that he was playing at the start of the season. He is lighter for an interior linebacker at 230. If he gains 15 to 20 more pounds, I think he will benefit from that. He does have the downhill power, but I think he will also, he will be able to make more of an impact in the run game and as a tackler by adding more muscle to his frame and just more weight to his frame as well. He does show good block shedding mechanics, but they are still in development, especially when he's going against an offensive lineman that is climbing up to the next level. You just want to see him shed those blocks a little bit better. He does need to work on his ability to finish the play and finish the tackles. He did have 7 missed tackles on the season, so that is something you kind of like want to see improve. And his coverage ability is there, but it's just not elite for a linebacker. He does get too deep in his drops, or not deep enough at times, and he just doesn't he doesn't cover the routes well at times because it gets away from him a little bit. But other than that, he is very good, and I think if he can make a full recovery and just be productive, carry that production that he had at the start of the season last year all the way until like the end of this season, I think he will be a round 1 talent.
Okie dokie. Last but not least, we have Kelly Jones.
Right. I, for one, am a big Kelly Jones fan. Kalana, go ahead and read the stats. But I'm a huge Kelly Jones fan.
Kelly Jones is 23rd overall in our mock draft, and he's going to the best team in the NFL, the Detroit Lions.
That's not the Chicago. You didn't say Chicago Bears, but yeah.
No.
That's funny. None of you guys said the Green Bay.
Don't you ever say it again.
I'm sorry.
Ever say that.
That's on me. Yeah.
Anyway, Kelly Jones is out of Mississippi State. He had 20 tackles last season, 2 interceptions, and 11 pass breakups.
Awesome. So some of his strong points: he has rare size and speed combination. He's 6'4" for a DB.
I'm sorry, he's what?
He's 6'4" for a DB, which gives him a unique physical advantage, especially on the perimeter. I think he benefits from being on the outside as a corner, whereas like there are times where he was lining up against in the slot. He looked comfortable there, but he looks way more comfortable being on the outside. He shows strong press coverage, patience. He waits for the receiver to declare where they're going before he opens his hips, which I think is really cool. He uses his length and physicality in an effective way, which makes it difficult for receivers to create that clean separation. And it often forces the receivers to, try to get physical with him back, and it just doesn't work. He looks comfortable and looks like he creates more of an impact when he's in zone. Man is good, but I will get into that in a second. He's able to shrink those throws, the windows to throw, an exceptional rate, and he can eliminate multiple reads because of his range and his ability to and his size. So he shows the speed to shut down multiple routes in his zone. He shows good reaction speed. He has a quick trigger that allows him to react off of the receiver's movements and their cues. He stays in phase even when downfield, which I think is great. He shows the excellent ability to play through the catch point and attack the ball even when it's in the receiver's hands already. He doesn't just abandon going for the ball and then trying to make a tackle. He shows the ability to attack the ball when the receiver has it. His reach allows him to disrupt passes and generate pass breakups, and he has the deep speed capability to be able to keep up with even the fastest receivers in college football. Now, in terms of weaknesses, his run defense does need to improve. Often he doesn't take the right angles, and he's not breaking down, and his ability to finish tackles could use some work. He gets removed from plays a little too easily because he's not able to shed those blocks, especially on the runs. You just want to see him use his physicality that he has against a receiver when running a route. You want to see him use that to get away from the blocks and go make a play, and go hit the ball carrier. There are times where he can be a little too handsy at the catch point. This is a result from, he doesn't flip his head around to track the ball at times, and he's a little too inconsistent in playing the ball at the high point. He has the speed and he has the range. You just want to see him like flip his head around and locate the ball to go make a play there, where instead he's playing the receiver a little too much. Sometimes he gets a little too physical, and that causes him to get a penalty. And he also does have the occasional, errors in the run game. He shows good discipline physicality wise, but you just want to see him be able to flip his hips and make that more fluid. He kind of relies on his ability to stride and his recovery speed, but you want to see him just flip his hips more. And mirror and blanket that receiver more. But he does show the ability to do that with his speed and his range. You just want to see him do it by flipping his hips more. So, working on that fluidity in his hips and working on his ability to flip his head around and locate the ball when it's in the air, I think will go a long way in showing his dominance as a corner and allowing him to be a round one talent.
All right, that is our top 10 mock draft players. Thank you guys for listening to that. Once again, if you guys are not tapped in or able to see the website, come go check that out, please. Go check out our mock draft. We are updating that. We are constantly moving things around. You guys probably will see something, have some inputs. Don't be afraid to reach out to us or contact us. Don't be afraid to bring these type of talks to the podcast, because that's what we're here for. So thank you guys for listening to that.
Absolutely.
Our next hitter today is my favorite one. I love this one. This is amazing. And I think it's kind of for the name is under the radar, our hidden gems. And our hidden gem of the week is Coy Parrish.
Listen, Coy Parrish, that he can play safe.
Dog.
He shows the ability to go make an impact in the run game. He shows the ability to high point well. He has the agility and the fluidity to mirror receivers, even when he's backing up and in his back drop. You just want to see him. You want to see him make more of an impact in the run game a little bit more. You want to see his block shedding improve. You just want to see his ability to, he shows the diversity to blitz. He shows the diversity to man coverage. You just want to see him take that next step in being a safety at a Big Ten school. So he did transfer from Minnesota, I think, to Oregon, and you just want to see him. You want to see him unlock his game a little bit more at Oregon, much like Dylan Thieneman did this past year.
This kid, I'm looking at his highlights right now. They can see it too. He has a great ability to track. Watch. Is that a ability thing, you guys? Like tracking the QB's eyes, knowing where what they're gonna do.
Kind of the QB's eyes.
Yeah.
So when that happens, you can see, especially even just watching the games when a defender looks like he's about to go in one direction, but then he looks at the QB and he immediately starts going to the other direction. He shows that ability to read and react to the QB's eyes, which you look for in a safety. That's what you look for. So it's a really good thing, and he shows promise. I think he has the potential to be a top 3 safety in this draft class. So,
yeah, I like him. We like him. Keep going, Luke. We'll see what he's got this year. All right, guys. Here's the final whistle. Thank you guys for watching today.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys listening to us. Once again, keep reaching out about those hot takes. Keep reaching out about those big deals and no deals. We'll be watching. We'll be listening, and we'll be seeing in the comments what you guys are saying. Any final thoughts, people and fellas?
Yeah, we just appreciate y'all for tuning in. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we appreciate y'all for helping us, and we just can't wait to see what more we got in store. We can't wait for y'all to watch and react to it.
Yes.
Stay tuned for the next episode though, where we break down our top. We show our list for the top 10 prospects in each position class. I think you guys will be excited for it, and I can't wait to see your guys' reactions to it, and just let us know.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time. Thank you once again.